Well, this morning in Sunday school, it kind of went over about everything I was going for, but we'll go over it again, I guess.
Alright. Let's see. We're going to go to John chapter 11, verse 1. Now a certain man was sick named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Jesus heard that, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When he had heard therefore that he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then after that saith he to his disciples, Let us go into Judea again. His disciples say unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goest thou thither again? Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, but he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. These things said he, and after that he said unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go, that I may awake him out of sleep. Then said he his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit Jesus spake of his death, but they thought that he had spoken of taking of rest in sleep. Then Jesus said unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent that you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him. Keep going. Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, Let us also go, that we may die with him. Then when Jesus came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already. Now Bethany was nigh unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and met him. But Mary sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. Jesus saith unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this?
You know, the thing that I've dealt with this week is, it seemed like there was no hope there. Lazarus was dead for 4 days. And the thing that God has dealt with me on is giving up too soon. In today's world, it's easier to give up than it is to fight. In all circumstances, you see, however it is, whatever you're going through, it's easier to just sometimes give up than it is to fight. But I had 2 scriptures on my mind, and one was Lazarus where his daughter, and then Lazarus, and then this morning both of them was. I said, well, so but it's easier to give up. It's easier to think there's no hope. I mean, you take a doctor give you some bad news, and you kind of take that and run with it. But that doctor don't have the last say in that. God's got the last say in that. And there's been places in the Bible where God's mind was changed. If that was one of my family members that was needed it, I would want people to try to get a hold of God, and if there's any way of changing his mind, to change it. If that was one of my kids laying there, you would want anybody that you could get a hold of that. But it's easier to say, well, there's I wish there was something I could do, but it's just too far gone. But it's not too far gone. Right there, Lazarus was gone for 4 days and brought him back. So if anybody had the right to say it's too late, it would have been his sisters right here. But no. Jesus come back but to keep that faith right there. To not give up so easy just because you don't look like it's going to pan out. I mean, I've got into things and it just, and you give up on it because it just didn't seem right. But what if I would have just held on just a little longer? I might have figured out what was wrong there. But I give up too soon. What if there's times that I've had people that's in my life that they never called you until they wanted something or something like, they just, you never heard from them until they wanted something from you. And, you kind of grow old of that and, and you give up. But what if I'm giving up too soon? What if I just held on just that little bit more? That might have seen them and said, well, look here. I've done nothing but use that person. I've never done no good for them. I've always just used them. But they held on. But if I give up, then they look and they say, well, okay, what's the difference between you and me? No matter who that person is, that person is a child of God the same as I am. That is our family. That's a brother or a sister. But if we just hang on just that little bit longer, that might have a whole different outcome. Because in today's world, though, it's to give up. You see more marriages getting, it ain't worth fighting for. They can just go ahead and sign their papers and go on and find them somebody else. But that ain't what God has intended. It's worth fighting for. But right there, just like with Lazarus, there's nothing impossible with God. That seems impossible right there. To man's eyes, that's impossible. But it's not. Not with God. And God says we'll do greater. So it's in us. I mean, but it's easier to just give up. You let fear get a hold of you and you'll give up quick too. How many times has God wanted me to go pray for somebody? And I let fear stand in the way. But it was easier for me just to give up and not do it as it was to. But there's that feeling that when you do it, that you get. And you never know what that last little word that you say might mean. But that's how important it is not to just give up, to hang on. Because I don't want to hang on until the end and give up on the last thread. Because you're almost there. And then give it all up for just a little bit. I know today's message hasn't been very long. That's what God has laid on my heart is to not give up so easy. To hang on. Hang on to in whatever situation you become in. Hang on. Because there is going to come an outcome of it. And God's going to help you through whatever it is. So all you got to do is just hang on. You know, that's something that Brother Clyde always told me from forever. He said, you got to be like that bulldog. He said, you got to hang on. You know, and that's the truth. If you don't hang on, you might feel like you're hanging on by that thread. But if you'll hang on, there'll come a rope somewhere down the road. But let's just remember today to not give up so easy. To hang on and to wait God through. Because God does got a plan. If we'll all find us a place to pray.